Thank
Yes.
you so much for coming.
Pleasure.
And you come as a welcome break because we're interviewing lots of comedians, which is lovely.
Yes.
At our
but
picnic.
after a while, they get on your nerves, don't they? Yeah. They got my nerves anyway.
Not so much on my nerves, but it's nice to see. Well, it's nice to see an academic, certainly.
Yes, or me.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and certainly not somebody who's funny. So that's perfect.
Well, I mean, your show is advertised as having a few laughs.
Not many,
isn't it?
No, it's got one towards the middle.
Okay.
But otherwise, there is nothing. There is nothing in there of any comedic enjoyment.
Well, I mean, have you dabbled in comedy at all? Or
I did it. I've done stand-up for many years. No secret. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Only to myself, of course, in the bedroom. But I know it's got some laughs in it. It's got some laughs. My show. And I'm a very, very funny person. So yes, I'm sorry that it won't be such a welcome break for the comedians. You have got shortbread here.
There is shortbread.
I loathe shortbread.
You hate it?
I absolutely loathe it. It's oh god.
But I mean, you can
very
have a
bad
custard
memories
cream.
when I was a child. I had a Scottish uncle. I don't want to go there.
Really?
But
Okay.
each of those fingers has got a memory for me. But the custard creams, you score points on that. So that's very good.
Well, I think it's important to offer choice to the guests,
Choice is
and
always
I hope
good.
it's not going to be difficult that being there, and it's
it's like some people got a thing about clowns. It's the same with me with shortbread. Yeah, for a very similar reason, actually.
Well, but with a clown, it's a person, but it's a distorted person, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was with my uncle.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah,
So
he
it's
was
just the association of the.
That's right. Every time I used to arrive with a little tin of them every weekend, a little tin of shortbread, and that basically spelt trouble. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Suffice to say, that tin was never opened.
But there was the.
There's memories. There's memories attached to it.
So Psychobabble, is that right?
It's the name of my show.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's advertised as having no PowerPoint. Is that important?
That's very important. It's also not true. The show is predominantly PowerPoint based.
Okay.
But I put that because otherwise I thought people will just think it's a lecture and they'll turn up expecting a very dull lecture. And instead they get a vaguely interesting lecture. But it does have power. Actually, I tell you what's interesting.
Yeah.
I get a lot of nerdy, geeky types
Okay.
my show. And what they love is the fact the entire show is run off my iPhone.
Really?
Including video. So you can run PowerPoint, including video, everything, sound, off of the iPhone.
that-
That is incredible.
Is that go to my PC or something?
No,
or...
it's just Keynote.
Wow.
Keynote, yeah, I think it's Keynote. And I run everything from here. So people are turning up with laptops and everything, and I'm just turning up with this. I'm so happy. This has changed my life.
I mean, that's amazing. I think people are using laptops much, much less.
Yes.
I think
Yeah, and we're seeing. So it makes a difference. So you just turn up, walk down the street with this, and I've got my whole show on there.
it's fine.
So that's good.
Yeah, and you don't need to have a heavy bag of props or anything like
Nothing.
that. Yeah.
Nothing. That's all I've got.
Blackboard, as if it.
That's right. Those are the
old
days. So no, I just turn up with that and a great deal of hope. I turn up with my iPhone and optimism. I just leave with the iPhone.
But is there a feeling that you're losing the authenticity at all, or you're completely pro all this technology change? You're not afraid of technology?
Oh no, I like
that?
technology. No, I'm very pro technology. So in my normal talks and shows, it's not true of the Free Fringe here, but normally I do live EEG recordings. So we get people up, we put like sensors on, and we see their brain in action. So I love it. And the more technology, but you cannot have too much technology. That's what I always say to people.
So your psychology is you really enjoy seeing what parts of the brain light up.
No,
Is
I hate that.
your...
So I'm not
Okay.
a brain scanner. They're different. They're a different type
Right.
of... you wouldn't want to be interviewing them. Believe me. You want to be there.
Yeah.
So no, I don't do that. I'm a proper psychologist, so I'm interested in why people behave the way they do, but
Yeah.
without sort of really talking about their brain. I don't say, it's their hippocampus, because I don't think it gets you very far.
Yeah.
So instead I talk about if it's conformity, why we want to conform, for example. So the start of my show is all about conformity. I just get one person to start applauding, and it soon spreads, and then we discuss why that's the case.
So you're a social psychologist.
I'm a social psychologist.
You describe yourself as that.
Yeah, as opposed to all the antisocial ones. Yeah, I'm a social psychologist.
Which I think, are they catching on somewhat?
Well, they went through a very good time in the sort of 60s,
Yeah.
when they used to give people electric shocks on a regular basis and dress them up as prisoners and prison guards and have them beat the shit out of one another.
There's laws against that now.
I know, actually, that's why ethics
it's
committees
awful.
are around.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's ruined it for everyone. Between you
No
and I,
fun at all.
you can do nothing. I was surprised leaving the flat. I was reading about before I was leaving the flat. I don't want to just there then, but what I meant to say was before I was leaving the flat, I was reading about a study where they were giving genuine electric shocks to puppies. They were getting people to hold puppies onto plates and giving them electric shocks.
Right.
And what I refer to as the good old days on it. But nowadays, you can't do that stuff. You can do nothing.
Although wasn't there a thing in Cardiff where kittens were having their eyes sewn shut in a sort of experiment of...
That's Cardiff. That's Cardiff. That's a normal Saturday night in Cardiff. You wouldn't get that anywhere else. That sounds like animal research. I'm not particularly pro that either.
Okay.
I'm not massively anti. It depends what it's quite a fine-grained thing, animal research. But I've never done that. I've never done anything to animals.
Okay.
No. This was a psychology thing with the puppies, where they were seeing whether people would actually hold the puppy onto the plate and whether men would hold the puppy longer than women. And it turned out women were holding it longer than men.
Oh, I see.
And enjoying it more. Yeah.
I mean, is it again? There's another aspect there. Is it good to look at differences between men and women like that?
Well, I'm not that pro. There's not many actually, to be honest. So a lot of people go on about sex differences, and there was a little bit I used to do in the show, which was sex differences and balloon modelling.
Okay.
So I used to give a balloon to a man, balloon to a woman, and have them try and make a balloon animal out of it. Excuse me. But the women were much better than the guys at that.
Okay.
They used to come up with these beautiful sort of poodles, and men would just come up with like a best a snake out of it. So we used to do that. But there's not many differences between men and women. There's more differences within men or within women than between the sexes, and people shouldn't get too upset about that.
But then I suppose if you are looking at research like that, then you're not necessarily saying that it's not contradictory in that.
No, you can look at sex differences. I've done some stuff on sex differences and intuition, but the differences tend to be on beliefs. So if you ask women, do you think you're more intuitive than men, and they say yes, they are, but then you give them a test of intuition. There's not much difference. Because just behind us here is the Lady Boys.
The Lady Boys of Bangkok. Yeah.
There we go. I don't know how that would work with them. I haven't asked them.
Well,
you give them a shortbread finger.
Well, it's the difficulty of classification.
Exactly.
Well.
Exactly. We could ask them that question.
It's a minefield.
I don't want to go over there. No, you'll be there all day.
But do you think there are certain conclusions that you can draw?
From psychology, yes.
Yeah.
One of them is my show isn't very good. No matter who you are, what age you are, you won't enjoy most of it. That's one of the big findings from the festival. No, there are. So I tend to look at things like lie detection. I do a lot of stuff on lie detection and body language and so on. Some of that's in the show. And what else do I look at? Humour. So why do men laugh at different jokes to women? That's in the show as well. So I just sort of look at these little psychological topics.
See, because I had you as a perceptionary psychologist.
Oh, I do illusions as well.
Yeah,
I do quite a lot of stuff on illusions. So that's what the PowerPoint is, and I do quite a lot of magic stuff, and deconstruct the magic.
Because of course you used to be a professional magician.
I did before I became an amateur one. Most people go the other way round, but I became a professional one first of all, and then became an amateur. And it's very nice actually. August is great for me because all the magicians, well, not all of them, a lot of the magicians in the country all come to Edinburgh for August. So I spend most of my time taking coffee with them, which is
geeking out,
talking the sort of bitchy talk that only magicians can engage in.
Did you go to FISM?
I wasn't at FISM this year because I was over in Portugal at what's called the Essential Magic conference, and that was my one sort of big magic thing. So I wasn't at FISM. FISM, if anyone doesn't know, is a big world championship of magic. Were you there?
No, I wasn't. I thought about going, and then it had passed before I managed to catch up with it.
There were some very good things there.
Yeah. No, I've heard some very good things.
And some very bad things as well there. So there's a real mixture.
But it's all part of it. I mean, do you go to conventions still?
I go to quite a lot of magic stuff and quite involved. I've just invented a magic trick which will be sold to magicians in about a month's time or so. So, I'm quite heavily involved. Most of my sort of closest friends are magicians, actually.
I think it's hard, once you have been bitten by the bug, it's hard to then lose it.
It is hard. It is hard. And it's very hard not to be bitchy about everyone else in magic as well. So that goes with the love of the topic. So
it's quite a bitchy art in a weird way, isn't it?
It's the bitchiest. It's the bitchiest. Everyone to your face is like, I love your act. And as soon as you shut the door, it's like, have you heard? Have you heard what he does? No, it's great. It's a great field. And there's good magic up here. There's who's up here this year? P. Furnham, I think, is up here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hiff and Paul Wilson.
It's
There's
turned
a lot
into a
happening.
really great place for magic.
Yeah, Paul Zellon's up, so yeah, it's good.
Perfect. Richard Wiseman, your show
Yeah.
is at the Free Fringe.
Don't come. It's a waste of time. If there's anything else on, I beg of you, go there. If it is absolutely pouring with rain, every other show is booked. Psychobabble is where you need to be. But if there's any other option, that includes just going to the toilet, take that option. Do not come to my show. It's rubbish.
You're such a great salesman.
It's,
I love
it's
it.
a gift. It's a gift.
Thanks so much for coming to the picnic.
Pleasure.
Help
Lovely.
yourself to a biscuit if you want one.
I'll take a custard cream,
Custard
but not
cream.
one of the shortbreads for reasons I've already explained.
Of
But thank you very
course.
much for inviting me.
You're
It's
so welcome.
gorgeous. Thank you.